So welcome to Unity of the Valley. I always have this kind of magical feeling when I come in here to know that people can join together in spirit with that acceptance, with that openness, that we are one, that we are connected. No matter what the outer appearance, no matter what our differences in beliefs, we can acknowledge that there is a connection. We're all part of the same universe, made of the same stuff, and I believe made of the same spirit, this one spirit. And so let us breathe into that and welcome all the people who are joining us online and just feel that connection and give ourselves to that spirit, give ourselves to that gratitude, give ourselves to love.
There's something I would say, that what brings us together here has blessed us all today. Love has made a circle that holds us all inside, where strangers are as family, loneliness can't hide. To love, love is what you're after. Open up your hearts to tears and laughter. Give yourself to love. Give yourself to love.
Like to welcome our children. Come on out and bless them and be blessed by their presence. So let's raise our hands if you'd like to feel that energy flowing as we say from our hearts. And we can spiritually high-five each other in this way, as she was showing us. Together, we love you.
We love you.
We bless you.
We bless you.
We see your divine light shining.
We see your divine light shine.
And feel that energy flowing to all the youth in our building at this time, and to all youth everywhere. We are so blessed. Have a wonderful day.
Love is born in fire. It's planted like a seed. Love can't give you everything, but it gives you what you need. And love comes when you're ready. Love comes when you're afraid. It'll be your greatest teacher, the best friend you have made. So give yourself to love. Love is what you're after. Open up your hearts to tears and laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Give yourself to love.
So we give ourselves to love as we join in prayer on that journey inward to that sacred place within where Spirit dwells in each and every one of us, that divine spark that enlivens us, that guides us, that is always and everywhere present. We open to that love. We soak it in. It radiates from us and touches all whom we contact. It is our source. It is our joy. It is our comfort. It is our blessing. And as we are blessed, so we pass on that blessing to all we meet. For that knowing, for that recognition, for that connection with the source and with each other right here, right now. We are truly grateful. And so it is. Amen. So I'd like to invite Sunny up to light the candle.
Thank you. Good morning. I light the candle for the connection and the beauty and the love of everyone in this room that spreads out throughout the world and brings light and love to the earth and to each heart.
Thank you so much, Sunny. Wow, she's technically skilled.
I practice.
So for all those who are new with us today, If you haven't already received a welcome packet, feel free to raise your hand and the ushers will find you and bring you one. We welcome you, we love you, and we are so glad you are here with us today, and that we hope you'll join us afterwards in the fellowship hall. There's a table with a sunflower cloth. If you'd like to sit there, we will find you. Also, there's this little label on your welcome packet. If you'll wear it with your name on it, we'll find you and greet you and welcome you and get to know you. Okay, and I think we have some announcements this morning, and here's Gina.
Thank you, Inga. Good morning, everyone, and good morning to our live streamers. Isn't unity the best? Okay, just a few announcements. Of course, putting our cell phone in meditation mode would be very helpful for the service. Our June bulletin is posted, and you can check it out on our website. And then prayer requests. If you are in need of prayer for yourself or a friend, family, please consider filling out a prayer card if you're here. Put it in the foyer in the prayer box, or you can contact Julia at the phone number up on the screen. YFM, they've had some changes that they keep throwing my way on their fundraiser. And they're not doing a seed count anymore. They are doing a raffle for 3 different baskets. I've checked them out. They look pretty wonderful. And they are $3 each or 2 for $5. And they are actually not in the foyer. They are in the fellowship hall with those baskets. So visit with Piper after the service today and get your raffle ticket and support our youth and family at the same time. Okay, Tuesday, the Behind the Lens, the thing from another world. And that's with our Tom Blank, and he will do a Q&A session afterwards. I hear sometimes before as well. $30 for 12 movies or $5 a piece. And on Thursday, we have Therapeutic Touch. And it's in the upstairs Fillmore wing. It's a wonderful, different healing modality, and it's on a donation basis. So please come and visit them. It's from 3:30 to 5. And then next Sunday is Father's Day, and we have thoughts on nurturing family, and we're going to hear from a panel of fathers in our community. And then this is wonderful that it's returning. Summer solstice celebration at Inga's home. We're going to gather in circle outside in the garden, so bring a folding chair and a snack. The theme is sunlight reflections. This is open to men and women, so that's new. And directions to Inga's home will be available next Sunday out in the foyer.
So in the past, Inga only allowed men at her home. Was that the deal?
Only women, John. So on June 29th, Saturday, from 9:30 to 4:30, we have the Circle of Men, A Journey of the Heart in the upstairs Fillmore wing. And this is with Jim Drews is going to be leading a free all-day intro workshop. So please be sure to see page 6 of the bulletin and you'll get some more information about that. And then our last announcement is the Youth Puppet Camp is back this year, and we're excited for that. It's geared for kids, youth, 8 to 15 years old. They will have a great time making and learning how to use a variety of puppets. And there will be a variety show on Friday that we are all welcome to attend. And for those of us who were there last year, it was a lot of fun to watch the kids do this. So I encourage you to do that. And then pre-registration is required. So there's the number to contact Alice, or you can see her in her office. All right, have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you, Gina. And now we'd like to do a little ceremony for our board members. A special recognition to our Board of Trustees, who helped us through the early years of the pandemic. I'd like to call to the platform all those who served between 2020 and 23. And please hold your applause until everyone is on stage. Serenay Smith, would you like to come up? Michael Tickner, Ted Taylor, Geneva Miller, Alice Sparks, Michael Lampy, Vicki Hills, and Heather Breckenridge, who has moved to DC. So she's no longer in Eugene. These are the trustees who served through the worst of the pandemic and had an especially big job. And with the support of our entire spiritual community, they did their work with great skill and dedication. Please join me in giving them a warm round of applause.
I just wanted to add that John Garrett is also on the list, and just a little oversight there, and here he is. John, April Fool's, John, we almost forgot you.
So, thank you all for doing the job you did during the most trying times. John, thank you very much for the services you rendered and for their past service. So you are welcome to step down. And this is the current board. And we have 3 brand new board members that have joined us, actually 2 rejoined for previous service.
And Geneva Smith was also in the pandemic group. But she's not here today. I'm not sure if you mentioned her, so.
Oh, I thought she was hiding in the kitchen. She's one of our wonderful kitchen angels. So, 3 new board members, new to us. Bonnie Chapa is recovering at home, so she's not with us. She got sick on a cruise, poor dear. So, Cindy, come join us, and Bonnie Paquin. Bonnie and both Bonnies. Both Bonnie served on the board years ago, so we welcome them back on board. And Bonnie Chapa, I do hope that you are watching live stream and are enjoying this as we applaud you and all the others. Thank you so much. So these folks are leading us into a brand new era, a new world. So now Sherry for a closing blessing.
Before we bless them, I need to tell you a funny little story about the asparagus that they're carrying. Somebody said it looks like you gave them asparagus. When I called to order the flowers, they said, "What would you like?" And I said, "What do you have?" And we went over the list, and I said, "Oh, gladiolas. Yes, I love gladiolas. We have red and we have yellow. Oh, wonderful." And I did not expect them to be 4 feet long in length. I also expected them to be open, so that you could see the colors. But last night they said, better leave them in the water because they might, open too far and drop a petal or two. So anyway, what we have is asparagus, gladiola in the form of asparagus or looking like asparagus, but it's still given with much love. And I would like, wherever you board members, wherever you disappeared to, what?
I have to take responsibility for creating this list. And that's why we've continually interrupted it as we've remembered new board members. So this is part of unity, as people have reminded me of the people I forgot. So in addition to Geneva Miller, we also have Dick Everts, who has been part of our board.
Dick, come get your asparagus.
Dick, come get your asparagus, yes.
Yeah. All right, and then Dick, you stay up here. I would like all of the board members, past and present, to stand now so we can see where you are and where you have put yourself among your friends and family here, so we can see you. And that way, so let's give a blessing to all these wonderful people. There's a saying, many are called and few are chosen, but we have a new way of saying that. You were called and you chose to accept. And because of that, this church, this community, and each individual in it has been blessed beyond belief. So we love you, and we bless you, and we appreciate you. And we behold not only the Christ light in you, but the love that shines from you. You are a treasure in so many ways, and we love and bless you now and forever. And so it is. Amen. Don't cook your asparagus.
Oh, it feels so good to thank that board that got us through COVID. What we want to forget, but oh, it's a miracle that we're here as beautifully as we are. So it just moves me. Of course, it moves me to tears. Before I announce our sing-along, I want to remind you we have a beautiful concert this afternoon at 3 o'clock with Beth Green doing healing improvisatory piano music. It's going to be great. Inga, did I interrupt you? I'm sorry.
No.
Oh.
You're great.
Is it time for our sing-along?
It will be in just a second.
Okay.
But first, I have a real treat for you. Reverend Carrie Kenyon is here with us. Carrie, would you stand, please? Welcome, Carrie. Carrie has the wonderful honor and responsibility to be our regional representative to Unity headquarters, the representative for our Pacific Northwest region, which is enormous. Goes from Alaska to Montana, all the way to Southern Oregon. Enormous. Hawaii too, right? No. They have their own. Okay. So she will not only do our talk today, she will also bless us with the meditation. I was the fortunate hostess. She stayed with me at my home for 2 nights, so we've had a wonderful connection, and I've gotten to know her better. I met her years ago at convention, and now we've got a chance to be reconnected, so it'll be our treat to have you here with us today. And now,
please rise as you are able and join us in singing John Lennon's Imagine.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. Imagine no possession. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one.
That was a prayer already. So I invite you, put this up a little bit, to let that energy continue. That sense of love, that sense of peace that is resonating within this room right now from the music, the words that we just sang together. So I invite you to go ahead and close your eyes and slowly take in those deep, deep intentional breaths. Find a place that's comfortable for you. Gently close your eyes and open your heart. Another deep breath. And as you exhale, release any tension, any worries or any concerns, and become centered right here and right now in this place. Become centered in this present moment. Let the chair support your body. And as you continue to relax in this now moment, with those deep breaths, in your mind's eye, visualize a warm golden light glowing in your heart center. This light represents the divine presence within you, the spark of oneness that connects you to all of creation. And as you breathe in, feel this light expanding within your chest. this light filling you with peace and warmth. And with each exhale, allow this light to grow, extending beyond your body, filling the space around you, filling this place. As divine beings, we are part of the interconnectedness of all life. Feel this connection as your light continues to expand. Your light is merging with the light of others around you, forming a vast and radiant web of love. And as this web of light grows, imagine it connecting you to every living being, and to the earth beneath your feet, to the sky above, and even to the stars beyond. Feel the profound sense of oneness, knowing that we're all expressions of the same divine source. And affirm quietly in your own mind, I am one with all that is. I am connected to the divine presence within everyone and everything. We are one. Allow these words to resonate within your being, deepening your sense of peace and connection. Feel the love and harmony that flows through the web of oneness, knowing that you are an integral part of this divine tapestry. So take a moment to feel that love, that connection, as you affirm within your mind, in the silence, the words, I am one with all that is. I am one with all that is in the silence. And now, we slowly and gently bring our attention back to this time and this place. And as we do, bring that feeling of love, that feeling of peace, the unity that surrounds you and flows through you. And as you feel ready, gently open your eyes, wiggle your fingers and toes, and take a deep breath in, another deep breath out, and carry that sense of connectedness, knowing that you're always connected to the divine presence and to all of creation. And so it is.
There's one power, invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power, indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth, as simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Balua, angels' wings and heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power. Can't you see it? It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power, one power. We speak so many languages, different clothing, different colors, different names. But different is only dangerous when we forget that in the heart we're all the same. We'll remember once we close our eyes to see that such distances were never meant to be. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Balua, Hashem, or heaven's door. It's Mohammed, it's your mind, it's your soul, it's your sign. It's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth or Father Time. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power. Can't you see it? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe. It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power, one power, one power, one power, one power. It's the moment of creation. It's an everlasting peace. It's the freedom of forgiveness. It's the sweetness of release. It's the joy of inspiration. It's the sunshine on your face. It's the birthright of all nations. It's the boundlessness of space. It's the beauty of a baby, the serenity of sleep. It's the anger we abandon, for it's the love that's most deep. It's one power. What we are is
What a gift. What a blessing. Oh, my word. That's one of my favorite songs, and I have to admit that sometimes, my eyes, I must get something in them, but they kind of water up a little bit. And, oh, what a beautiful job. Oh, I feel like we just all could go home right now. I'm so full. But, I do have a couple words I want to say. After all, I'm a minister, right? They never know when to, I won't go any further. But speaking of ministers, your ministerial team and your board of directors, I just want to give a shout out to them. I don't know what you were doing yesterday, that beautiful, glorious day, but I know what they were doing. They were spending it with me, the board training, because the way they want to do just the best that they can do for this community. They really have the best for you in their hearts and in their minds. So let's give them applause one more time. One more time. And what a beautiful setting. It's wonderful being here. I'm so grateful that I have this opportunity to be with you this morning, and that I get to share a little bit out of this book. As so many, there's so much in it. The more you get into it, the deeper it takes you. And, of course, you can't do all of that on a Sunday morning. But the title of the book is Birthing a Greater Reality, A Guide for Conscious Evolution. So we're evolving, so why don't we do it consciously, right? Isn't that better? And it's also one of my favorite professors when I was in seminary. So, it's got a nice title, but what does that really mean, consciously evolving? Well, it means we grow up. Maybe, yeah, no, really. I remember a congregant once telling me, I don't want to be a child of God anymore. I want to be an adult. I just want to say, her time has come. It is time to be an adult in our spiritual journey. We're not children. We are co-creators. We are partners with the divine. And it's time to own that. It's time for us to join the eagle and crack the shell open for a larger vista. Just think of the view that an eagle has from soaring up above and the large vista. It's time for us to crack open our shell and step out into that vista, to move beyond the world that has been created by our ego and move into a greater reality. The ego has gotten a bad rap at times over the years, such as, I don't know if you've heard that, but ego is edging God out. And it's almost that we've gone from the devil made me do it to, well, my ego made me do it. But before we get into the debate about the good or bad about the ego, let's just get a better understanding of it. We're actually here because of the ego. If it wasn't for the ego, the human race wouldn't be here. It was and is the purpose of the ego to keep us safe, to keep us alive. Throughout our evolution, the ego looked for things that were dangerous. And it still is, except most of those dangers today are in our minds, not lurking around the next tree ready to pounce on us for their dinner. And the ego manages these threats that we have today, the ones in our minds, by what it lets into our awareness. Anais Nin says, we do not see the world the way the world is. We see the world the way we are. I'll just say that again. We don't see the world the way the world is. We see the world the way we are. So I want you to think about it for a moment. It's illustrated when witnesses give their story of an accident. 3 people see the accident, and as they give their story, the car is 3 different colors. And how the accident happened is 3 different ways. I want you to pause for a moment and think of a time when you were reminiscing with an old friend, maybe a sibling, family member, or a spouse. And as you're reminiscing and you're telling your story and they say, well, that's not the way I remember it. After a while, you start to wonder, were you actually in the same place at the same time? Yeah. I bet you all have 1 or 2 of those. I know I do. And of course, our ego tells us our story is the right one, because that's part of the ego helping us out, helping us be right. I just want to share a case in point. Not too long ago, our daughter was reminding us about this car that we had bought her after she'd crashed the one that we'd given her the first time around. And as we're listening to the story, I just kind of listened and nodded my head. And afterwards, I said to my husband, I said, I don't remember that car at all. And I sure don't remember buying her a second car. And he said he remembered the car, but he remembered going with her for her to buy it. He didn't remember buying it for her either. So there you have 1 event and 3 different perspectives. Which one's right? Depends on who you ask. Yeah. Often I would go to my brother to visit my brother, and he had a number of children, and they would come running out and they would start asking me questions about things that happened when my brother and I were younger. And Ricky said, Carrie, why do we remember it in such different ways and remember different things? And I said, well, Ricky, we're going to remember the stories in which we were the ones that were in the right. That's the ego, again, protecting us, blocking our shadows, making it okay, making us okay. So if he was remembering and told his kids about a fight we'd gotten in, he would remember the fight where I was in the wrong, and I would remember a totally different fight where whatever happened to him, he had it coming. So again, what is this ego that has so much control over our lives that really decides what it's going to let into our awareness and what it isn't? Well, ego is Latin for I. For centuries, people have been asking, who am I? Who am I? Well, I can say, I am spirit calling itself me. We all can. In fact, I'd like to take a moment and say it all together. I'll say it one more time, and then I'll invite you to say it with me. I am spirit calling itself me. Together, I am spirit calling itself me. Yeah, I am spirit. So we've said it, but still it gets back. How do we describe this I? We can describe our roles, our physical attributes, our feelings, our thoughts. But it comes back to who is it? Who is feeling or thinking that? It's similar to going into a very dark cave with a flashlight. You can shine the flashlight around and you can see, with the help of the flashlight, everything in there except for one thing. What's the one thing you can't see? The flashlight. The one thing you cannot see is the flashlight. Bruce and I did this in a huge cave down in southern Idaho, and it was huge. And you got in there, and the guides turned off the lights, and you couldn't see your hand in front of your face, let alone anyone else in there. And then they turned on the flashlight, and we could see each other. But the flashlight cannot see. You cannot see the flashlight, right? And that's the same way it is with the I. The I disappears in the very search for it because it is the subject looking for itself as an object. Alan Watts says that the search for the I is like trying to bite your own teeth. I'd like to share this quote with you. In fact, it's in the order of service. It's one of the ones I put in there. And then the young man said, "So, it would seem that I know, but what I would like to see is the me that sees me when I know that I know that I know." Yeah. And that's in there so you can read it on your own later. To know the know that I know that I know. When we're born into this world, we know who we are. We know that we're spirit calling itself me. But then, as Wordsworth says in his poem, our birth is but a sleep and a forgetting. As we become more integrated, or as in the Four Agreements, Don Luis Miguel calls it, that we become domesticated. You can call it socialized, whatever word you want to use. But when we start identifying with this world, first in our body and then in our mind, we lose our identification with soul and spirit. Our minds function in the domain of time, and the ego can't see itself beyond that any more than the flashlight could see itself in the cave. It might as well be a black hole. And for the ego, that is terrifying, and it doesn't want to go there. So if we want to go there, we have to make a conscious effort. So the ego perceives, is a product of the mind, and sees the black hole as death itself. And the knowledge of our divine essence is beyond time. It's beyond where our minds can take us. We can intellectualize about it, but we can't really know it with just our minds, because our true self is spirit. And when we experience it, we know that there's no essential difference between us and everyone and everything else. This self is more real than our personal identity. It's something to be experienced. Jean Houston had that experience when she was, well, I'll just say the quote and you'll know how old she was. She said, "I was no longer just Jean Houston, age 6. I had awakened to a consciousness that spanned centuries and was on intimate terms with the universe. Everything mattered. Nothing was alien or irrelevant or distant. The furthest star was right next door, and the deepest mystery was mystically seen. It seemed as if I knew everything, as if I was everything." And for any of you who have had that kind of mystical experience, it's all of a sudden, it's like the world stops and you're just a part of everything. No separation at all. Tennyson said that the loss of personality, if it were so, seeming no extinction, but the only true life. So it's no longer that personality, but the true life. And the true life that Tennyson was talking about is that one presence that your choir sang so beautifully a few moments ago. That one life that expresses within every being, in every life form. When we experience our true self, we realize there's no essential difference between this self and everything else. For our true self is spirit calling itself me. And that's true not just for me, but for everyone in this room and beyond. So there's no separation in true reality, only in the made-up reality of our egos. And once awakened, we no longer identify as just an individual. Remember, the small self was generated by what? Our egos. You can think of our egos as our own private individual computer AI. It decides what it wants to let in. It interprets our perceptions and decides which ones are safe and which ones it'd be better off if we didn't know. In John 3:30 it reads, "He must increase, but I must decrease." And that means that personal identity must decrease so our spiritual essence can shine through. So the goal is to transcend the ego-driven aspects and express our divine nature. By letting go, we actually become more instead of less. Each person becomes a center in which the universe uniquely reflects itself. That's pretty heady, isn't it? Yeah, I'll say it again. Each person becomes a center in which the universe uniquely reflects itself. So by listening to that still small voice, we can express more of our true being as we evolve consciously, one person at a time. Charles Fillmore says, enlightenment is of little or no value unless we continue to mature spiritually and emotionally. Or, in other words, grow up. So how? How do we let the awakening radically change our lives? How do we move out into the world beyond our egos? Well, I'm glad you asked. I'm just assuming there, right? So Unity teachings emphasize the importance of aligning our personality with our individuality, because we are spiritual beings having a human experience, right? So we need to align the two together to let that divine essence shine through our external traits, the personality. And we do this by the first step, self-awareness. Recognizing and understanding the traits of our personality. So we know when we're acting from the ego. And then meditation and prayer so we can get in touch with that divine self, so we can more live our life from that place of our divinity. And affirmations to remind us who we truly are. More than this bag of bones, we are divine essence. And then we act it and send it out into the world with service and love, just like your board and your ministerial team do. And you do. I know I have heard about the many volunteers and the acts of service that go on in this community. Yeah, that's what it's about. So when we do that, we can harmonize our personality with our individuality. We can overcome the limitations of the ego. We can allow our own unique divine potential to manifest fully. And we can recognize the divine in ourselves and to see the divine in everyone we meet, even if we don't agree with them. So as we evolve consciously, one person at a time, our light shines more brightly. And as you go forth this week, I invite you to shine your light even more brightly than the flashlight in the cave. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Reverend Carey, for your beautiful message, for reminding us to keep that flashlight handy and shine it brightly in this world to reveal the many miracles unfolding all around us. We are so grateful for your presence with us today. And before we move on to the offering affirmation, I just want to add a little codicil to our ceremony of blessing the board members. I want to acknowledge our incredible treasurer, Vicki Hills, who was with us heart and soul and presence through the pandemic, who balanced a budget when there was no income when the church was closed down, who helped us to procure grants, whose heart of gold assisted all of us and kept us cheerful through many dark days. We want to thank you, Vicki. You are certainly part of the board and the legacy of all we've been through here at Unity of the Valley. This is the time in our service when we want to gather our offerings, feeling the great abundance and prosperity that we all share here in this beautiful spiritual community, giving gratitude for all that we have, especially as this week unfolded, remembering the brave souls that kept the light shining in the darkest days of our history. We want to remember the history here, the 80 years that Unity of the Valley has been shining in this little town of Eugene. Thank you all for your presence and for your beautiful donations. We can't tell you how deeply we appreciate you. Now please join with me in speaking this offering affirmation. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love, and I trust God.
Listen to the silence till there was no longer silence, till it was filled up with birdsong that had been there all along, till it was filled up with birdsong that had been there all along. And I looked into the sunset till it was no longer sunset, till the sky grew darker and it filled on up with stars, till the sky grew darker and it filled on up with stars that were there all along. It was there all along. It was there all along. The underlying unseen song. And I stopped to smell the flowers till they were no longer flowers. They began to wilt and droop and develop into fruit that turned to seeds and back to flowers that had been there all along. And I searched the world for answers till they turned into questions that shone light upon the answers that had been there all along. They shone light upon the answers that had been there all along. Yes, they were there all along. It was there all along. It was there all along. The underlying unseen song. And the light obscures the darkness, and the darkness hides the light. The stars will still shining when the sun is shining bright. Oh, how unimaginable, how many layers go unseen in this dream, in this dream. So much more than it seems. was filled up with fullness that has been there all along, till it was filled up with fullness that had been there all along. And I cut through my aloneness until I melted into oneness of the web of shining dewdrops that connect us all as one, to the web of shining dewdrops that has been there all along. Yeah, it was there all along. It was there all along. Yeah, it was there all along. The underlying unseen song. The underlying unseen song. The underlying unseen song. And I spoke my words till they were no longer words, till they sounded no different than the songs sung by the birds. Still sing when they can't be heard. All the symphonies get blurred into the colors of the world is turning, powered by the bird song that has been there all along. Yes, the great wave of bird song that has been there all along. Haven't you heard the wave of bird song that has been there all along?
Yes, it has been there all along. Thank you so much, Katie and Annie, wasn't it? Thank you so much. It was extraordinary. And thank you again to Reverend Carey for being with us today and sharing her message. And I want to thank her also for the wonderful training that she provided yesterday. It was truly a blessing for all of us, something that we could all learn a lot from. And thank you to Reverend Inga for hosting that event with her graciousness and just an enormously beautiful environment. Thank you both so much. So as we put our hearts together to bless this offering, we want to remember the village. We want to remember all the folks that it takes to put together these services. Our beautiful music team led by Laura Dubois, by our greeters and ushers, our beautiful folks in the bookstore, the sound room, our teachers, our beautiful agape folks that serve us these beautiful foods in the fellowship hall. Thank you all so much. And I want to remind you that we have our wonderful chaplains available to any of you who would like to meet with them after the service. They'll be happy to join you on this side of the sanctuary. So thank you all, and let's draw our hearts together as we bless this offering. Come be with us, O Holy Spirit, and fill us as only you can with the divine blessings of compassion, wisdom, understanding, and forgiveness. Bless this offering and all the hands and hearts that have brought it together for us today. May it multiply. May it bless the one and the many. And may those blessings go out as a rainbow surrounding the world this day, a message of peace and harmony in the name of the one power. Amen.
As we rise to sing our song of peace, I'd like to remind you again about our wonderful concert today at 3 p.m. here at Unity the Valley with Beth Green, that amazing musician we had last week who plays so spontaneously from the Spirit.